Good morning. It is April 12th. Yeah, Tuesday, April 12th. And I am just sitting down and having my coffee and doing my devotional time. And then it's supposed to actually be nice today. I say it like that because I just don't know if I believe it yet. The sun is supposed to come out around 9, I think, and it's supposed to get into the 60s. And so my plan is to go out into my garden shed and clean up a bit and then do a second round of planting seeds, because I planted my first round and then I realized, I don't have all the seeds I need because I wasn't overly organized. I thought I had a lot left from last year. So I ordered from two different places. I ordered from Southern Seed Exposure and Renee's Garden. I get most of my flowers from Renee's Garden. I'll try to remember to link them down below. But those are the two places I order the majority of my seeds. I like Seed Savers or Southern Seed Exposure because I can get organic and heirloom seeds from them, and then I can just save them. And I started doing that a couple of years ago, so I don't have my gathered seed supply built up quite yet because I'm still learning. And that is my plan. So I started my first batch, which I'll show here a little bit later. I started those a couple of weeks ago, and most of them are already coming up, which is fantastic. And then today's plan is to start my second round. I got my seeds from Southern Seed Exposure, but the ones from Renee's Garden have been delayed in shipping. So I'm not sure when those are going to come, but those are mostly flowers anyway. But I'm going to get back to my coffee and my journaling. This is how I try to always start my day, because that's how my day goes best, when I do that first. I just want to share what I've been doing for my devotional time just the last couple of days. You probably know that I enjoy creative things, and I do watercolor painting, although I don't do that very often anymore. But I've just been in the mood to, in the spring I do feel more creative. My creative juices flow a little bit more freely. And I've just been wanting to do some Bible journaling. And so I bought these markers. They're Papermate. There was a 24 pack of all different colors. Actually, my son Sergey and his wife bought these kind of markers for my daughter Lily, who also does Bible journaling. And I tried hers last month, and I love them. And they're called Papermate Flare. But I bought those, and then I just went and got myself one of these mixed media tablets. That way I can watercolor in it if I want. You can apply different things to this because of the paper weight. But I'll show you, let me flip around here and show you from April 9th. Okay, so what I've been doing is basically picking one Bible verse, and then so I normally start the Bible verse in the morning, put it down on the paper, and then I will maybe do a few other things, but then I'll leave the journal and the markers and everything out on the table and come back throughout the day. And it also just helps me to stay focused throughout the day. And then I'll just, whatever. I try not to restrict myself or I try not to pressure myself to make it look too cohesive, because I don't want to feel restricted. And then, I took some words from the actual Bible verse, and I just wrote how I feel about those, just applied that a bit. And, And then this was a pretty full page because this was Saturday. Was it Saturday? Yeah, this was Saturday. So I had more time. I was home. I think I was home all day Saturday. And then Sunday, it's very boring looking, but you know, I wrote my main verse and then I looked up using Blue Letter Bible, my Blue Letter Bible app. I looked up cross references that had something to do with this verse. And so then I did some of that down here and I wrote a little bit of a gratitude and then this is today's so far. I just wrote out Psalm 103, 1 through 5. I'm going to do this and then I don't have a lot of room for extras, but I'll add to it throughout the day. So that's just what I've been doing the last couple of days, and it's good when you can just like sit down and not worry about making it look a certain way, or like I said, making it too cohesive, because part of me wants to do that. I'm creative, but I also like to stay within the lines in a lot of areas in my life. So I have to keep reminding myself, just not just in this, but in all creative aspects, just don't worry. Just let it go. It'll turn out. And if it doesn't turn out appealing to other people, it doesn't matter, because it's not theirs, it's yours. Anyway, okay, I just wanted to show that to you guys real quick. And I'm finding this a really good, beneficial practice in the mornings, actually all day, right now. I don't know. The sun's not out yet. It's after 9. Now they're saying noon. And it's still only 40 some, so it's not quite warm enough to go outside and start things. Although I think I am going to go out in about 30 minutes and follow me to the basement and clean out my garden shed a little bit. I was talking to my sister this morning and she wants to bring her kids up for some seed planting lessons. Let me show you what I have going on here so far. Let me flip you. This is our basement setup. It's really hard to film this because these lights are really bright. These are just some lights that I got on Amazon. I can link them for you if you're interested. I'll just try to remember to do that. And I've only got, 4 trays and then some little pots planted okra, which I think traditionally you're not supposed to start okra by seed. You just plant it in the ground. But honestly, I've never had luck with okra starting it right in the ground. I don't know if it's because we have a shorter growing season. So I decided to do it this way. These are some calendula seeds that I saved from my plants from last year. And most of them, all of them but 3 little cells came up. So that's awesome. Got some peppers back here that haven't germinated yet. Those were heirloom seeds that I saved from our plants. And over here, I totally overcrowded. So these are tomatoes, drusba, I think. And my dad saved these from our plants from last year. Again, heirloom seeds. And I got a little bit excited. Look at this. All of them came up. I wasn't sure. So I'm not going to thin this yet, because if you look, they're too close to one another to thin that out without pulling them up. I'm just going to let them go and see what happens. I have some Shasta daisies. Some of them are coming up. Some of them are not. These are nice because they're perennials. I have 3 plants out in my landscaping already. I always try to look for perennials, and then I fill in with annuals. But more carnations. They're doing exceptionally well. And then I'm really excited about this one. I've got some basil growing back here. And then these are red geraniums. I bought these seeds off of Etsy. 10 seeds came. They all germinated, so that's awesome. And then down here I have some parsley. This is some lavender that I got the seeds off of one of my lavender plants last year. I'm trying to grow some of echinacea from seeds I took from my plants last year. So far it's not germinating. More parsley and another daisy. Just wanted to show you that. That's my first round. And nice thing about these lights are that they are on timers. So when you first get them, you turn them on in the morning when you want them to come on every day. And then they have timers for, I think it's like 8, 12, 16 hours, and so you just set it for that. So these come on in the morning and shut off in the evening. We run our hours for 12 hours. My dad and I are going to run into town to get some organic compost. We compost here, but our compost hasn't been the greatest since we haven't had our alpacas and goats and chickens. All that really helped our compost matter. So now we do the greens and browns, but my compost pile is not big enough this year. I had to start a new one last year because we depleted the other two. So my compost pile isn't big enough for all of my raised beds. So I'm running in with my dad. They have some organic soil or compost. I've already bought some manure, but we're just going to Walmart. But I want to get those the soil amended. Soil is so important. If you don't have good soil, you're not going to grow good plants. I know this from experience. So my dad will not be on my video. He's funny. He doesn't like the internet. He doesn't like Facebook. He doesn't like social media. I asked him when I was doing my Christmas vlogs if he wanted to be in the one when he was up at our house or I was around him or something. He's like, no. And I just asked him again, Dad, do you want to be in my gardening vlog? He's like, no. So, sorry, I can't introduce you to my dad. I know you met my mom during the Christmas vlogs, so I guess he's gonna remain a mystery. So I just gave my dad a guilt trip because I told him he was the only family member that you guys haven't met yet. This is my dad. Okay.
Hello.
Hello. Oops, let me flip. My dad didn't realize I had a YouTube channel until just now. So then I told Dad, how did you not know that?
Because I didn't know.
Because he doesn't get on the internet. That's why. He doesn't get on social
YouTube
media.
all the time on my TV.
Oh, you watch YouTube? Okay, well now you can get on and watch my knitting podcast.
Yeah, I get on TV all the time and watch YouTube. There's a lot of good stuff.
Yeah, you can learn a lot on YouTube. So, okay, so now I talked to my dad, I made him feel guilty, and now you guys got to meet my dad. messy garden shed. Oh gosh. I need to clean it out. I haven't cleaned it out yet. I just wanted to show you, I have this hardback spiral bound journal that I keep. This is the one that I've had from the very beginning, which is funny, which shows you how much I don't really document a ton of stuff in this, but it's every year I write my plan, and then it's really cool to be able to go back the next year, the next spring, and see what did I plant, when, and where did I put it. And so, or like, this is just a very quick and easy diagram of our orchard and which trees are planted where. And blueberry patch, which that has actually grown since I wrote that out. So, and then I just like clip in, these are some of the rose bushes that I've planted over the years. Honestly, did I even write where I put them? Yes. So that's good that I did that. And then this is just a little sketch of our house I did a couple of years ago. And honestly, our house, the reason I did this sketch is because I wanted to show Brad how I wanted the front porch post. So I sketched this out so he would see. And the only thing we don't have yet is this little detail here. I'm not sure if I'll ever get that, but it's something that I would like on the exterior of our home eventually. And it's funny, but these are two evergreens shrubs here on either side of this window, and then underneath is mountain laurel. The mountain laurel is diseased. I've been fighting with it for the last 3 or 4 years, trying to restore it to health, and it's not. So it needs pulled out. And these two big bushes also need pulled out. So I'm going to be pulling those out this year and planting in some smaller things here. And I think I already told Brad I want a big long window box right under this window because I love window boxes. So I'm super excited about that. And that'll help fill in this space because when I plant, all of this stuff that's here now is actually really big. So when I end up pulling these shrubs out, it's going to look really strange. So having a window box there will be nice. And then I'll probably buy, normally when I plant landscaping, I buy small because it's cheaper, knowing that it will grow every year. But because everything else in the front is so established, I'll probably buy these shrubs a little bit bigger. Not, just to kind of help balance out. But anyway, yeah, so I did that a couple of years ago. And then I make notes of where I plant things. It's in the front. And then this was from last year. So these are my beds. These are my 9 beds. But actually, and here's our asparagus patch, but actually we've added 3 beds back here. So this I must have diagrammed before we added in those 3 extra beds. But this is just a way for me to document what I've bought. And I even went one year in 2020, I planted a galvanized tub full of different flowers. So I just sketched that out. It's just nice for me to do that because then I can look back and I can see, and like last year I did pH testing of my beds, so I documented that here. I highly recommend a garden journal. You don't have to make it crazy and beautiful and all that kind of stuff. For me, this is more for practical use. I do love beautiful things and I like to journal with, and I like to paint with watercolor, but that's not what this garden journal is for me. Oh, here is the updated. So this is what we ended up doing. So these are the 3 extra beds we added in last year. And then, yeah, I built a fire because it's a little chilly still. And plus I just like having a campfire. It's cozy and it smells wonderful. My sister's bringing her kids up and we're going to do a little seed planting lesson. And then I plan on spending like the majority of the day out here. I have dinner in the crock pot so that I don't have to worry about that. So I'm just really, really excited about today. I want to hear what you guys chose. Okay, we're laughing because I forgot to press record the first time, so we're doing this for a second time. So Matthew, what are you planting?
I chose cherry tomatoes.
Okay, and Garrison, what is yours?
I choose parsley.
Okay, you chose parsley, and Lena, what did you choose to
I
plant?
chose daisies.
Okay, daisies, awesome. Out of breath because I just carried bags of soil and compost, but it's already 3 o'clock. I'm not going to get everything done today that I wanted, but I want to show you guys something. We plant rye on our garden beds in the fall. So after we pull out plants, this one, you can tell I had stuff in this until later because it by the time I pulled out the plants that were in this one and that one and half of this one, it was pretty cold. So the rye did not grow well, but like other ones, you can tell like this was a bed of cucumbers. So this got pulled out early. The rye had plenty of time. The reason we do that is because it helps with enriching your soil, and it also helps with weed control. So these beds will probably not have many weeds in them. Most of my beds are really good with weed control because they're established beds, except my asparagus patch. It's a mess. But yeah, we grow the rye on it, and then I will just till it in. When I say till, I hand till. I have this little contraption. So I'll use that to break the rye up. But I've got most of my seeds planted that I'm going to start in pots, except for a flower seed order that's not, it just shipped from Renee's garden, so I won't have that until maybe this weekend. But what I'm gonna do now is I have this one bed here that I want to throw some kale and spinach in. I'm doing a little experiment. I have not been successful growing spinach, directly sowing it into the ground. So I started some by seed that I'm going to take in the basement and put under the grow lamps, and then I'm also going to throw some in this bed when I plant the kale today, and I'm going to see if either of them work, and if they do, which one works better. So yeah, I'm going to get ready to amend that soil and get those things planted. quick, I just want to show you guys what I do. I use rocks to mark out areas. So I planted German chamomile here, which I just wrote on one of these. And where do I get these rocks from? Let me show you. My other beds. This one is horrible with rocks. So yeah, I just go around, gather them up, and use them as markers. For not when I plant in rows. When I plant in rows, I use actual markers. But when I plant in like a square or a rectangle or a circle, I'll use rocks. And I actually had some chamomile that reseeded from last year. There's 2 little tiny plants here, and then this whole patch. Last year was the first time I planted chamomile, and it didn't do the greatest, but I've learned since that it likes cooler weather, which is I think why it is growing so big already. I'm a little concerned because I do have 3 salvia plants planted right here, which get really pretty purple flowers, and they're really good for attracting bees. But so once these get bigger, this chamomile is going to be, it's going to be covered. So I'm thinking about digging this up and moving it over here, but I'm not sure if it'll transplant well. Okay, I moved them. Lily, who's sitting over there, and I won't get you in the picture, Lil. She encouraged me to move them. She said, "Mom, just dig down real deep so you don't get any of the roots." So that's what I did. And you're right, Lily. So now this makes me feel better, because if I would have left them over there, they wouldn't have gotten any sun. They would have been crowded out by the salvia and they would have died. So this is good. So I've got 3 plants already going, and then I've got a little patch here that we'll see what happens with that. Okay, this bed is all done. If you notice, it has like wire fencing on top. One thing, flip this around. One thing that just utterly frustrates me with gardening, and you can ask any of my family members, it's the cats, the outdoor cats. Even when we had chickens, it was easier with the chickens. The cats like to get into my beds, especially when like this they would just be all over this because it's fresh and it's tilled up and nice and loose dirt, and they go in it and they use it as their litter box. It's really annoying. So when I plant in my beds, until the plants get bigger, I have to put down this wire mesh. And it's just another step. It's kind of a hassle. And then as the plants get big and they start to grow through it, it's, I have to come out here and I have to mess with it so they don't get all tangled up in the fencing. So if any of you have any suggestions on how to deal with cats, outdoor cats getting into your garden beds, I've tried all different things. Leave it in the comments if you have a solution for, I love my cats, but they literally drive me mad when it's gardening season. All right, it's 7 o'clock in the evening, and I'm gonna wrap this video up. I have one more thing to do. We have that pile of wood chips that we're going to put on the asparagus bed, which I cleaned out a little bit ago. So thank you guys for joining me. I hope that you enjoyed this. I hope it wasn't too dull. Yeah, just a spring day, getting ready for gardening season.
What? I am man. Watch me.
Watch you what?
Stick this stuff in my barrel.
Okay.
Yeah. Good.
Why does it look like there's grass in there too?
Yeah, there's some dead grass on there.
Okay.
We don't have to put it in. I am man.
So am I just going to stand here and watch you?
Yeah, you're just giving me company.
Okay, that's fine because I'm tired. All right, I'm tired.